Well, hey everyone, it's Black Child here. I am alive. It's been, I'm feeling, definitely over a month, close to 2 months. I had been working essentially, and I just had no time to do the YouTube, like at all. It was breaking my spirit, and it wasn't fun. And I wanted to do the YouTube, so I had to leave. And that basically means that I set up a Patreon because there are things that I'm still trying to do with this YouTube channel. I still have the website that I'm trying to revamp, make it into a forum, trying to put all the videos on that website, but that costs money. And right now, my ability to self-fund has been basically taken away because of this whole ad crisis and everybody pulling the ads out, which is not good. So I'm going to be like everybody else now and start a Patreon. One thing about me is that I'm actually about it. I'm not doing prank videos and all this other stuff. I mean, and actually a close friend of mine, this is when I knew I had to do the Patreon, because a close friend of mine, who I grew up with, was basically telling me that he had been or is a Patreon to Philip DeFranco. I'm like, Philip DeFranco, like one of the most, I wouldn't say richest, but he is rich. I mean, he's definitely a millionaire from his YouTube platform that he's doing. And I know he's now trying to start a new platform and hire people and all this stuff, which is good. I don't look down upon that. I'm just saying, for a friend of mine, like, really, you give it? But then I couldn't say, oh well, why couldn't you give to my Patreon? Because guess what, I didn't have one until now. So I have one. The link should be down below somewhere. um, there's definitely some steps that I want to do with this whole Patreon thing. I mean, of course I need the website to be done. I need it to be able to put the videos, upload the videos onto the website. Then the other issue is the legal issue, which is a big deal that I'm trying to, before everything goes on this website, the videos and everything, I would really like to speak to an attorney, a First Amendment attorney, because as you all know, I've been hit with many I wouldn't say community strikes, but copyright issues I've been running into. And recently, during my break, YouTube took down the WBDJ video, WBDJ 7, the hoax news reporter shooting with 800-pound man is sneaking up on them, and murders everybody, whatever. So they took that video down, and they said it was community issues. Community, it was, violated YouTube's community policy on, hoax shootings or whatever. So this is where basically the e-beckoning comes in, to allow me to be able to get to the point where we can expand this operation. And, one part of expanding is to have legal representation. Anyway, so during my time away, one interesting thing happened to me that I really wanted to share with everyone, which is I actually was able to run into Anderson Cooper of CNN Fake News, or as it's called, CNN Fake News. And like I said, one thing that was very interesting about the industry that I was working in is that it does give you access. Well, you have the opportunity sometimes to see some of these people walking around. I was at my job. It was actually my last day there, and this white guy walks up. First of all, I was standing outside. He kind of walked past me and then asked me a question. And as he was asking me the question, he turned around, and I was like, Anderson, like just like that, like Anderson, wow. Because one thing I don't think and when I was telling people, this is like, really, one thing the general public doesn't really, I guess, know about Anderson Cooper is that he's very muscular. He's like, I guess when he's not in CNN all day talking about what Trump did in Russia, he's just in the gym, working out. And that's One other thing that I've noticed about, this whole gay thing, I was actually working down at Pride. I wasn't working at Pride, but where I was working, they had the Pride parade or Pride festival, whatever. Um, it was, I guess, wrapping up, or it was later on in the night. And, one thing I will say is, the perception that people get of the whole gay is that, you would see, men wearing tutus, men wearing dresses, and all this stuff. But to be honest with you, I was shocked because that really wasn't what you were seeing. What you were seeing out there, yes, you saw, a few with the tutu, a few, transgender or whatever, a few wearing, a 20-inch platform boots, and then get out the car and say, oh, well, I get paid a lot of money to wear this, stuff like that. But what shocked me was what you were seeing. The majority of what you were seeing out there was huge men, big men, like 300 pounds of just pure muscle, walking down the street with a gay flag, talking about, basically talking amongst themselves openly in the street about hooking up with other men. And that to me was like, like some portal had opened up and we were just in another dimension where, the gay people had completely taken over for that night. That was what it was like. It was just like, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing, what I was hearing. But the point is that the perception that you get on television of what this whole LGBT thing is a lot different than the reality of it. And trust me, I was very surprised. I was like, wow. And these dudes look like they lift up a semi truck, but gay as hell. So anyway, Anderson Cooper is one of these. Okay, so he turns around. I'm like, Anderson. He was pleasant. He gave me a handshake, very firm, manly handshake. He was very pale and everything. And so he asked me something, because, this channel isn't TMZ. I'm not going to really expose what he was doing on the outside. Even though they do that to me, tell me what I'm doing on the outside on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to do that to Anderson because I'm not TMZ. And unlike the CBS reporter, when I saw her, he wasn't going to plan evil. However, he was doing some very, I would say, it was a little suspect. Just because, like I said, I've been doing this job that I had been doing for a minute now, and I kind of know the ropes. Okay, so I know what was going on or what was about to go on. Anyway, so he asked me a question. I told him he was in the wrong place. He goes to leave, but immediately, like, my brain slowed down and was like, there's no way you're gonna let this guy get away without saying something. I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, Anderson, just one thing. And he was like, he just turned around and looked at me. I was like, with the Russia thing, every day, Anderson. This was actually Friday, the Friday that just passed. I said, Anderson, every day with the Russia thing, every day it's the same thing. Why is it every day when I turn on CNN it's the same thing? And he's very surprised. The energy I was getting from him was, he didn't expect this black face to walk up to him and say, cut it with the Russia thing, nobody cares. He was surprised. Of course, he's a puppet, so he wasn't going to say anything, especially now where in today's little thing, everybody is basically filming these people and then exposing them online. So, he knows better not to say anything, and he didn't. He gave me a little shrug with both hands up, the little shrug like, oh, what can I do? And I continued. Because at this point, he's walking further and further away from me. He's 5 feet away, 10 feet away, 15 feet away. And I'm still like, Anderson, please, there's other things that are going on in the world other than what's happening with Russia. And then he started to look kind of annoyed, and still was kind of giving me the shrug, and then walked away. Or basically walked into the place next door from where I was. When I would tell people, normal people, this story about me interacting with Anderson Cooper is always, how could you do that? How can you embarrass me like that? How can you embarrass us like this? How can you do that? Like as if, he's God, and how dare you even speak to him like that? How dare you, peasant, even speak to this man? And they go, oh, well, he's a millionaire. He makes millions of dollars. Yes, he makes millions of dollars getting on my television, running his mouth about, God knows what. So my thing is, if he can make millions of dollars and run his mouth on television where he knows people are going to see him every day, then why is it wrong for me to make a comment to him about how I felt about what he does on television? That was just how I felt, you know. But not everybody sees things like that. And he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything negative. I guess he knew better because he didn't know who I was. If I would talk about it later. But my thing was just that every day on their network, they make it seem like people, the majority of people feel that way. So I just wanted him to know, as his black face walked up to him, like, no, not everybody feels that way, and I just wanted you to know that. So it was an interesting little thing that I thought was an interesting story to tell everybody, because I know not many people would appreciate that story other than my YouTube family. So I kind of wanted to tell that story, and also talk about something that recently popped up that I saw, which is that Fisher of Men, another YouTuber, has been arrested again. I had seen, hold on first, because I actually have some notes written about it. I had seen that he had been arrested like a year ago. It was a few months ago. It was close to a year ago. He had been arrested for, basically uploading videos of him with the AR-15, with the gas mask on, and then I'm assuming, reading the articles from back then, that he was threatening people, saying he was going to murder Satanists, he was going to murder gay people, all this stuff. And I think Interpol or someone basically, of course, saw the videos, and he got arrested for terroristic threats. He should have already known the game, and he's been doing this longer than I have. We should all, yes, you have a First Amendment right to basically say or do whatever is on your, not do, excuse me, but say what is ever on your mind. That's the right of living in this country. However, when you're going to get up and now have AR-15s and all these various weapons that you have, they're going to, and then saying the things that you're saying on the YouTube, you already know you're going to be a target. Okay, so he had been released. I think he was released on probation, and usually when you get released on probation, usually there are what's the word, restrictions or limitations that are set upon you by the judge, because now you're on probation. Okay, which means you're on a basically tight leash in lieu of not being put in prison or jail or whatever. So he had been released, and because I am subscribed to him, so I was seeing some videos he was posting about Las Vegas PD, or some agent that was within the Las Vegas PD that he felt was targeting him. I hadn't really watched any of the videos. All I know is that when I signed back in to see what's going on this platform, I see that he has been arrested again. Bryce Cular. Now this time they're saying that, because he has these two people, I guess a pastor and his wife, who are, they're like his spokespeople, and they do these videos every so often about his update, what's going on with him, that he's fighting in prison now. He joined the white side. He joined the whites in prison, and he's just talking about all the regulations that the whites put him under in jail and all this stuff. But basically they're saying that he had been charged with an attempted threat, use of biological agent toxin. That's at least what it said on some internet thing of keeping up with the prisoners, or what they're in jail for, what they have been arrested for. And they're talking in these very cryptic messages, as if he just had been arrested because they're targeting him to violate his First Amendment right. And I'm like, but listen, we all, not all of us, but a lot of us do these YouTube videos and talk somewhat of the same topics that he talks about on his channel. And The truth of it is that I've literally had contact with I wouldn't say the majority, but the majority of YouTube so-called truthers, the major ones, the bigger ones. I've had some form of contact with at some point in me doing this, and he's been one of them, Fisher of Men. And I can't say it's all been positive with the majority of these guys on here, but I did have interaction with Fisher of Men on more than one occasion, and it was a little negative. I'm not going to get into it now because I do want to send him positive energy, but also let him know that he needs to have better judgment. Okay, because regardless of what these two people that are kind of shilling for him, now they are, I guess, looking out for him, or doing the videos for him, sending him a little commissary. But I mean, let's be real. He's back in jail because he's violated his probation, because he's done, I'm assuming, more videos or threatening people, and then there was basically saying that Interpol saw the video that he did and then sent it to Vegas PD. So if Interpol is sending Vegas PD or the Vegas media your videos, you're on a watch list. They're watching you. I mean, it's already that you're on probation. So how easy is it to violate that, your probation, by them sending the videos of you threatening whomever? We got to be smart in 2017 now. I mean, we already see what's going on. They're trying to attack us, trying to, people go, oh, well, this could happen to any of us, really. But my thing is, nowadays, they don't need to arrest you because now they can just cut off your ad revenue, cut off your ad revenue and you're done. And that's what they were trying to do to me. And that's why I'm now, like everybody, I'm doing this Patreon. Please support. Please support with the buying the health blankets. I mean, I'm still a work in progress. I'm still, trying to take this next level. And obviously, the Patreon at this point is one way to do it. I'm definitely going back to doing videos. I'm back at it now. But I do need your support. To be honest, none of this can be possible if I don't get crowdfunded, basically. I mean, it just is what it is. I'd love to do a podcast, a weekly podcast. I already have some people that I have lined up that I'd love to work with and love to be able to do that. But the situation I'm in now, I just cannot do that at this point. But anyway, just quickly back to the Bryce thing. I just wish him the best, honestly, because they're saying that the fact that he violated his probation means that he could now be forced to serve out 48 months of the full sentence, which, if you don't know what that is 2 years, and that's insane. It is insane just for a YouTube video. However, us truth is we need to be more circumspect. There's not that many of us. I mean, as far as last time I checked, there's only about enough of us I could count on one hand that I know of that that are actually kind of doing something, and so for us to now be getting arrested off of ridiculous stuff is not good. It's really not good. So anyway, just kind of wanted to do an update video. I am alive. I know there's a lot of other stuff kind of going on that people want to talk about, but as of right now, I just kind of want to talk about the Anderson Cooper thing, because I did see him, and I did want people to know that. I wanted him to know also, because at this point, I've realized that I never know where these videos I do will end up, so he may end up seeing it. That's why I'm not trying to tell all his business about what he was doing out there. But I did, I saw you doing some, I wouldn't say questionable, Anderson, but I mean, I've been doing this job that you had seen me out there doing for a minute now, and I kind of know what's up. Then I'll leave it at that. But I was able to tell him, as a black person, as a young millennial black person that was at his job, that could walk up to Anderson Cooper and be like, guess what? I don't co-sign with things you guys are saying. So that was cool. And also I wanted to talk about the Fisher Men thing, because him being arrested is not good for any of us, to be honest with you. And I do hope him the best. I hope that he has good lawyers, because these people that are basically doing all this stuff for him are saying, what is this? They have some website that Access Corrections, that you can mail stuff to him, mail letters and etc. So I just hope that they're giving him the good advice that he needs to, chill out with some of the stuff that he's doing in general online. But anyway, check out the Patreon. Well, I mean, donate to the Patreon if you can, because would really appreciate that. And that's basically it. So I'm gonna still continue to do some more stuff, do some more videos, and then hopefully we're able to take it next level. So I'll leave it at that. So until next time, people, stay in truth, stay in the Lord. All right, bye.